The Super Saiyan transformation. A dramatic boost in power in all areas. Strength. Speed. Durability. How strong would you be as a Super Saiyan? What would you be like? What could you do? And what couldn't you do? Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Broku, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball video. And this is, how strong would you be as a Super Saiyan? How strong would or could you be as a Super Saiyan? What would your bench press be? How fast would you be? Would a bullet still hurt you anymore? So I used to always think about this as a kid, but I never really decided to make a video on it until now. Now I know that I am not the first person to make a video like this, but I am going to do it a bit differently than others. While a lot of other videos or threads like this have been made that I've seen, they used power levels for the Super Saiyan multiplier on yourself. For example, they would use the average human as a 5 power level, and the 50 times multiplier of the Super Saiyan would make you a 250, which would then make you moon level plus. That isn't realistic. If you in real life got 50 times stronger or turned into a Super Saiyan, you wouldn't be that strong. It doesn't make any logical sense. It would just multiply your human level stats, or I guess human level stats but you're Saiyan, by 50 times. Now I'm going to go do some basic numbers and some averages here of the average person, but it's pretty easy to actually calculate yourself on what you might be able to do based on the average numbers that I used. Okay, so I've also have set this up in sort of a scenario. So it's not just me going through random numbers, but a scenario that will make you visualize what could happen. So one day you are moseying around your city, and then gunmen show up and they begin threatening you and the people around you. They wound 2 people with warning shots, and that gets you angry and you start to feel your muscles clenching. Then the other gunman throws a grenade and it blows up a piece of the building right next to you. It's about to fall on you and the piece lands over you, but 2 cars around you loosen the blow and slow it down just slightly to give you some time to trigger your Super Saiyan transformation. So now you are 50 times strong. This 1 ton or 2,000 pound piece of that building is slowly collapsing on you. Your old bench press was 150 pounds. What would it be now? Would you be strong enough to lift this off of you? Well, if your bench press was 150 pounds and you turned into a Super Saiyan, your new bench press would be 7,500 pounds. So this piece of the building will be nothing for you to lift off. It'll be easy, and thus you'll just lift it up off of you. Now you look over and the gunman has his gun trained on you. He is scared and nervous that you just effortlessly lifted a heavy chunk of a building off of you. You put your hands up, not fully aware of your powers yet. You thought this was just one of those moments similar to that how a lady can pick up the car, children, and get them out of safety. But you take a step forward in a bit of a stumble. The scared gunman fires at you. It does nothing except damages your shirt and stings you a little bit. So why would this bullet really not do anything to you? Well, because you would be 50 times more durable as well. I've done some research on handgun rounds, weight, and muzzle velocity. If the gunman had a handgun at 9mm, it can weigh between 7 and 8.3 grams. Let's average that out to a 7.5 grams and count a muzzle velocity of 900 to 1,200 feet per second. So let's just say 1,000 feet per second for this video. So a 7.5 gram round going 1,000 feet per second can heavily damage you and likely even kill you if you get hit by it. But if force is mass times acceleration, then we have to make this bullet have 150 of the force and compare that to what it would do to you, since you would have 50 times more durability. So you could either divide the weight or the speed by 50 or an equivalent between the two. If the bullet's FPS of 1,000 is divided by 50, then it would be equivalent to the 7.5 gram bullet traveling at 20 feet per second, which would do nothing to you. 20 feet per second is extremely slow. It would be like a fast jog. If you divide the speed by 10 and the mass by 5, you would get a 1.5 gram round traveling at 100 feet per second. Now, being a Super Saiyan doesn't actually reduce the speed or mass of the bullet, it's just how it would feel like. Now, this would damage your clothing and would sting you, but you would be fine. The gunman has now run away. His 2 friends had run off, one in a car rushing away at 100 miles per hour, and the other in a helicopter at a speed of 200 miles per hour. Both in opposite direction. You walk up to the gunman and he is scared shitless in your presence. You just lifted a 1-ton building chunk off of you and tanked a bullet from his gun. And this is where you... actually a possibility that your punch would cause a massive noise. And this is because your punch might break the sound barrier, because it is entirely possible that you might be able to punch at between 10 to 15 miles per hour, meaning you would have a punch between that of 500 to 750 miles per hour. If you're even slightly higher to make the speed of your punch just above 667 miles per hour, you would be breaking the speed of sound. Now, if the average arm is 8 pounds and you are punching at that fast of speeds, just imagine an 8-pound object compacted into the size of your fist and lunging it forward at nearly the speed of sound. That is going to be absolutely insane levels of damage. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be that the speed is that way if the ki is involved with your punch, but we could just say that we could take ki out of the equation in this. Now, when it comes to the damage your punch can do, if you have done track and field, and more specifically shot put, you will know that you have to be extra careful in the throwing area. That's because these dense, heavy objects that weigh at least 8 pounds. Funny, I've found an adept comparison here, since the average arm weighs 8 pounds and there's the average shot put weighs 8 pounds, depending on what gender and what age is throwing it. Anyways, shot puts are these 8 to 16 pound round objects that will be thrown at actually quite fast speeds. In fact, a female Olympian, Michelle Carter, was able to throw her 8-pound shot put at 30.2 miles per hour. Now, men will also throw the 16-pound shot put further and faster in the Olympics, but still, you better believe that it would kill you right quick. But anyways, back to Michelle Carter. This shot put going 30.2 miles per hour and weighing 8 pounds is a similar comparison to that of great boxers. The highest ever recorded punch of a boxer or anybody was 32 miles per hour. So this would be extremely dangerous to get hit by a shot put anywhere, the chest, the back, or the head. It would do a lot of damage, if not very likely kill you. Now imagine this shot put being over 20 times faster now, making it have 20 times the force. Yeah, it's going to obliterate you. That robber that your Super Saiyan self just punched, he's done so. Now, one thing interesting enough is that your punch of an 8-pound arm going through the speed of sound would still actually have less force than a 1-ton car going 60 miles per hour. Now, you might think if some people can survive getting hit by a car, why can't a punch of 1/10 of the force do the same? And that is because your fist is condensed heavily. The car is spread out, so it spreads the force out. A punch is much more condensed and targeted. Same with how a bullet is actually 1/3 the force of that car going 60 miles per hour, but can do a lot more damage because of how condensed it is. If you ever confused with why Ant-Man was so strong, it's because he kept his normal strength and density while being the size of an ant, meaning his extremely small and dense punches wouldn't spread out the force as much, creating an extremely powerful punch. Now that the first gunman is down, it's been a single minute. The car has been going down the highway at 100 miles per hour, and it's now about 1.5 miles away from you. Now, could you catch him rather quickly? The answer is absolutely. Pretty easily, actually. Let's say you can just run the 100-meter dash in 13 seconds. That really isn't that fast by any means. In my conference for the track and field championship as a 7th grader, the winner ran a 12.05 seconds, and the 8th grader in 11.73 seconds. Now, that may sound close to each other, but even a 0.5 second difference in the 100-meter dash isn't even that close of a race. I mean, I was a 240-pound 8th grader, and I ran a 100-meter dash in 13 seconds, and I was a shot putter and a discus thrower as my main events, so I think if the average person actually trained and put their minds to it, they could do a 13-second 100-meter dash pretty easily for the most part. Now this means you would be running at around 7.7 meters per second, or at around 17 miles per hour. Now multiply that by 50, and you just broke the sound barrier once again. You're running at around 850 miles per hour, almost a whole 100 miles per hour past the speed of sound. So if you were 1.5 miles away from the gunman in the car, it actually only just take you a few seconds to catch them. The speed of sound is roughly 1 mile for every 5 seconds, therefore it will take you between 7.5 to 10 seconds to catch the guy in the car, get in front of him. The car will hit you, it'll actually do more damage to the car, and not yourself. It might knock you over, as it would be similar as if a 220-pound man jogged into you, since your durability is going to be higher, but you'd still get up and you would kick the car off of the viaduct. Now then, this villain in the helicopter, he's been going at 200 miles per hour for roughly at about 90 seconds since the helicopter left, so it would be around 5 miles away from you. Now, running is not going to help much, because you couldn't reach it, it's too high. But what if, like all Saiyans, you could fly? And let's say that flying is 2 times faster than running. This makes your flying speed at roughly 1,700 miles per hour, now more than twice the speed of sound. Now you would actually catch the helicopter in less than 15 seconds, as you would be going roughly 2.25 miles every 5 seconds, which would make 4.5 miles at 10 seconds, and then 6.75 miles at 15 seconds. And in just 15 seconds, the helicopter will not be making a 1+ mile jump in distance, meaning you would catch it in between the 10 and 15 second mark. So yeah, as a Super Saiyan, you would basically be a superhero. Would you be fodder in the Dragon Ball verse? Yeah, but in a lot of other shows and comics or even manga, you would still be a savage for the most part. So for example, if you could bench press 150 pounds, you could do 7,500 as a Super Saiyan. You could tank shots from bullets. Now I want to add extended proof here for this. A 22 caliber handgun will hit you with 130 foot-pound. That can kill you if not heavily damage you, while a pellet rifle will hit you with 26 foot-pounds. That would be 1/5 of the foot-pound. Divide that by an additional 10, and you get 2.6 foot-pound. The average airsoft gun will hit you with 3 to 4 foot-pound. And if anyone has had airsoft wars with your friends, you know that that is really nothing to fuss about. Especially if you were a Super Saiyan and had adrenaline rushing. They would tickle you. You wouldn't even feel them. So if a 22 caliber handgun is going to feel less than that of an airsoft gun, a weak airsoft gun, that shows that you will survive a lot of different calibers of bullets. Now you would run at approximately 500 and 750 miles per hour, depending on if you are slower or faster. If you are a state champion or collegiate level sprinter, you're going to be far faster than that, even more, and you could fly at roughly twice your running speed, just for the sake of this video. I don't know exactly how much faster you could be flying, but who knows. Your punch would be able to knock over cars, because this would make it so if the car was 2,000 pounds, a ton, divide that by 50 for your strength, that would make the car 40 pounds, which would make it lighter than a lot of punching bags. You're going to be able to punch the car pretty effortlessly here, and knock it over, or kick it as well. So you're going to be quite strong. Your punches would effortlessly kill people, and it might even explode their body all over the place, but it would at least go right through them and kill them instantly. A punch to the face would cave in their face, and you would probably explode their head, and their brain would go everywhere. I mean, you would be a superhero in our world, but you wouldn't be invincible. Now it is even possible that napalm wouldn't even immediately burn you, as it takes 80 degrees Celsius to burn your body quickly, which means as a Super Saiyan it would take 4,000 degrees Celsius to burn you quickly. Napalm is roughly 1,200 degrees Celsius, so it would take a long time for it to actually burn you. Now, 50 caliber sniper rifles could likely kill you if it shot you in the head still. If not, it would really mess you up. Heavier guns like an AK-47 could do a lot of damage to you over time, but a single shot or a few shots probably won't do much. And so I was looking at also explosives. 1 kilogram of TNT can destroy a car, and therefore that would destroy you quite easily. Now if you were 50 times more durable, would you survive or tank it? Now I'm not 100% sure on that one. This is really the extent of what this goes. And honestly, explosives are vastly more powerful than guns, so if you even have a 50 cal sniper, that could still likely kill you at 50 times durability, or just hurt a lot, then explosions larger than the average hand grenade would probably kill or severely wound you. So you would be a crazy specimen, but not invincible at all. But anyways guys, let me know what you think about this video. Let me know if I got anything wrong. I mean, I did some research in this video, tried to double check my math, but I could be wrong, I could have messed up, but this is how strong you would be, how fast you'd be, how durable you'd be as a Super Saiyan. Let me know what you think down below. Please do leave a like and subscribe. Turn on notifications so you'll see more of my videos. Join my Discord and follow me on Twitter. Hope you guys all have an amazing day. Peace out.